less delay. A very good afternoon to all of you. Now I would like to request Honorable MLA Tawang, Shri Sering to present the welcome address. Apostle of peace, ocean of wisdom, embodiment of compassion, Nobel laureate, His Holiness the 14th Dalai Lama, Honorable Chief Minister of Arunachal Pradesh, Reverend Rinpoches, Reverend monks and nuns, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. It's a great fortune for all of us to have His Holiness the 14th Dalai Lama amidst us to bless us with a talk on secular ethics and happiness. While welcoming Your Holiness to this function, I, on behalf of all the people of Mon region, would like to extend our heartfelt gratitude and deep veneration for visiting Tawang and other parts of Arunachal Pradesh. Despite inclement weather, you endured the strenuous road journey all the way from Guwahati. I also welcome all the distinguished guests present here on this momentous and memorable occasion. It's a distinct privilege for all of us. The topic for today's talk by His Holiness is secular ethics and happiness, which has become more pertinent in today's world where religion on many occasions have become a source of conflict, resulting to untold miseries to human lives. His Holiness, as we all know, have always emphasized for rational thinking beyond religion. His Holiness is hailed worldwide for his philosophy on secular ethics, where he emphasizes that a person's behavior or conduct to be governed more by principle derived from human feeling and human intelligence and human compassion than by any religious rules. I believe people from all walks of life practicing various faiths have immensely benefited from the teaching of His Holiness on the secular ethics. We in Tawang have already been blessed with the preachings of His Holiness since last 3 days. In addition to that, His Holiness has kindly consented to enlighten us by a talk on secular ethics and happiness. I have no words to express our joys for the profound blessings we will be receiving with your holy presence amidst us. We will definitely be enriched today with better understanding of your philosophy of secular ethics and happiness it brings to the humankind. With deepest obedience, humble gratitude, and utmost humility, I now welcome the ocean of wisdom, His Holiness the 14th Dalai Lama, to bless us with the talk. Long live His Holiness the Dalai Lama. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable MLA sir. After this, I would like to request Honorable Chief Minister Shri Pema Khandu to present souvenir to His Holiness.
Thank you.
You can please read it out.
Wait, wait. Pema Khandu, Chief Minister, Arunachal Pradesh. Oh, with obeisance, obeisance. Okay. Thank you.
Next on the agenda is release of the book, The Ocean and Blue Mountains. It's a translation of Gyatso Dam Riverman book. But before that, a brief note by Secretary, SherigVideo Department, Shri Sanchante.
Good. Oh, sit down. Yes.
Most Revered Your Holiness, it is truly an honor for me to bring to your kind notice that the genesis of this book goes back to one of the many meetings with the Honorable Chief Minister, where we deliberated on how the people and the government of Arunachal Pradesh can pay our obeisance and tribute to your noble being. It was in that meeting that an idea germinated that though Your Holiness has had a very long association with Arunachal Pradesh and its people for almost 60 long years and continue to do, there was not enough documentation on this profound bond at a single place. Therefore, a book, a pictochronograph, if I may say so, was commissioned by the state government, and the project was assigned to the Cherik Legum. The book is titled The Ocean and the Blue Mountains. The ocean metaphorically refers to Your Holiness, the ocean of wisdom, and the blue mountains symbolizes the state of Arunachal Pradesh. The scope of this book to document 58 years of Your Holiness's association with our state was a very challenging one. However, with your kindest blessings, the ocean and the blue mountains could today see the light of the day. The state government has published the book in both Boic and English. In addition to this, to keep pace with the digital age, an electronic version, an e-book has also been published. In the end, Your Holiness, I, along with the team led by our Honorable Chief Minister, humbly hope and pray that you will keep blessing us with your presence and that we get an opportunity to add more chapters to this book whenever the Ocean of Wisdom undertakes many more visits to these blue mountains. With utmost humility, it is our privilege to request Your Holiness to bless this book and accept this small tribute from the people of Arunachal Pradesh. Thank you.
I would also like to request both the Honorable MLAs and Chairman Doka to be on the stage.
Dukes. Oh, yeah. 되게 beautiful, right? This English, yes. One book you should all hold. Another book, bring here.
Taking this opportunity, I would like to request Your Holiness to bless another two books.
Very good, thank you.
This book is written by Mr. Tanzit Jona, 1 year voluntary.
가.
And the third book is Crossing of the Frontier by Lawson Lingja Charitable Society.
And then I want to show this picture of this lady. 가. 어떻게 들었어? 님한테. 여기다가도 우리 나오시면서 보셨어. 서주. 야. 오케이. 있잖아요. 독시체 어제됐대. 독시체. 자. Onrede, pardon. 그랬대. 독시체. 야. 독시체. 독시체.
Thank you very much, Your Holiness. Now, I'd like to request you to bless us with the Tawang.
Dear brothers and sisters, indeed, I feel great honor to find this opportunity to mainly because of exchange, interaction. So, firstly, I want to thank the organizer. I think with the blessing of Chief Minister, so I appreciate it. Thank you. And I think general my way of thinking and ideas already 3 days already sort of explain, express. Now part of is my commitment for promotion of the compassionate world or peaceful century. This 21st century should be, and peace, through inner peace, then peace come. I think maybe First World War, I don't think people much say peace, peace. I think after Second World War, you see, people everywhere always say peace, peace, peace. But in the meantime, spend a lot of money building military power. So peace, sometimes you see, peace superficially, no sort of violence. But actually, that kind of peace, I think after Second World War, during Cold War time, you see, apparently no violence, no war. But that, some kind of peace is out of fear. One occasion I was in the Western Germany, very near East Germany. So that night, although in comfortable sort of bed, sleeping, but one part of my mind feel, oh, if something happened, then that is the because of the frontier, front line. I think the Warsaw Pacts, I think bullet or artillery shell reached there. So that kind of situation, that kind of sort of looks to see peace, but out of fear. Then eventually, I think, genuine, peace eventually come. Then Berlin Wall disappear. Then former Soviet Union also collapse. So this indication, genuine peace must come through inner peace. So now question of how to create, how to build inner peace. Through surgery? No. So without touching our brain, I think this morning I mentioned, till I think late part of the 20th century, the scientists, they no idea about mind, only brain. One occasion in Japan, one sort of meeting, some Japanese, even I think Nobel laureate, about brain specialist. Now, he came to see me before our meeting, and then he expressed his sort of, because of the sadness, he was sad. Recently, his son passed away. Meantime, he didn't believe the existence of mind, only brain. So of course, I say, because of that, some sort of danger.
I gave consolation. And I condoled him.
영문도 알게 해오지. 메로폼 가사. I try my best. You see, to 가사.
By giving condolence.
But in the meantime, I felt he, great scientist, brain specialist, you see, still he do not accept existence of mind, but a lot of sadness there. If that sadness come from brain, then that part of brain should remove. So I felt like that. So now, later part of 20th century, top scientists, as this morning I mentioned, they gradually now accept, there is something beside the brain. They carry series of investigation. Some of those people who have several months, several years of meditation. So their brain is something different. And so finally they accept through meditation, through training of mind, the brain plasticity, that actually increased. So therefore, now even scientists now begin to feel, there is mind. Then also, I think the other day I may have mentioned or not, last, now I think around 50 years in India, at least I think 30, 40 cases, person who passed away, but still body still remain very fresh. Some cases 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks. Then the 치수름 시간도 기주지기 어디 그래? 치수름 시 먼저 치수디 그래. 걔 로사님이 기주 직수래. 되베. 저서 치수름 시 Losanima, Cao Losanima, Chow Yang Star. That is also the because of the topmost leader of Yellowhead sect, after his death, I received information he died. Then, after a few days, his body still remained fresh. So then I asked the one small clinic in Dharamsala. Since few years, they kept some equipment to test those persons who clinically die, but still fresh remain. Still body remain very, very fresh. Previously, my senior tutor, to whom I received Bhikshu vow, so he also 13 days remain very fresh. So after local physicians come, doctors come check his body, he dead, but body remain very fresh. Then the Losanima, so then immediately went some the technician with that equipment and put on his dead body's sort of head. Then next, I think altogether about 20 days, about 3 weeks. So the person who put these wires keep close contact with one scientist in America, Reggie Davidson, great scientist. Nema lokashakonya logic nang mityathambasach. Dinang jigre.
He was known in Time magazine as one of the most influential, one of the 100 most influential persons.
So he well-known scientist. So later he told me, some mysterious things, you see, there indicates from their sort of the mission. But then we consider all sort of subtle element cease, so remain in a most subtle level of consciousness. At that time, all the physical, because of the energy of physical movement, these all cease. So then one strange thing, in Australia, another sort of monk, say, strangely, when I reached there, he already passed away. Already 4 days, you see, happened, passed. Then local, in hospital. So in local doctor, you see, they saw, you see, that dead body, but still remain very fresh. Then the local doctor allowed this body can remain in the hospital. So long, you see, there's some, because of the truly dead sort of indication can remain. So then strange thing is, I think fourth day night, the dead body, the hand moved. See, I think previously remained, I think, like that. Then fourth night, the dead body's left hand hold the right hand's this finger. So then I told those concerned people, great pity, you must keep camera 24 hours. Then how it moved, his hand. So we also, the difficult is to explain. That wrong that you know. Chapsik lung nyumwese negolia, chapsik lung dusarwa. Chapsik lung lulu kujoja, chapsik lung sigorwa. Chapsik lung dusarre, 다 the 가서 공센트 가서 그냥 서치 가서 공센트 투데 투든 주래 자상가 산디 컨디션 거이나 지금 안중면에 있네 디 지금 상담 할 수도 와 중은 중물보다 뉴메 versal 내대어리 탑직롱 간다라볼부에다 롱승차리 띵 가차리 다 차원 뉴메 versal 때는 지금 여러 템포 좀 그도 아니 남시 파편이 아니 파도 다 파도 내가 줘야 아주 또 시고로 자서 지겹듯이
So when someone said that's clinically dead, actually what happens there is all the gross states of mind and the energies that associate the mind have dissolved, and the person is supposed to be in what is known as the dying stage of the daylight of mind. And at that stage, actually, from our own traditional perspective, it is quite difficult to explain how this movement of this person, Genpukden Druku, actually happened. Because in our text, it is explained that as long as there is the what is known as the pervasive wind energy in the body moving, the movements happen because of that. But when the mind is at that stage of dying, which is called the daylight of mind, there's no way that this pervasive wind energy could actually cause any movement. It has already ceased. And so it gives us also a sense to wonder how and why and how this movement had happened at that stage to this person.
So eventually, Riji Division, he start a small sort of project to further investigate the person who clinically dead, but still body remain fresh. Now he tried to find scientific sort of explanation how to do like that. So therefore, now there is mind. See, mind through operation or through injection or through drugs. For example, those people who much worry, anxiety, drugs, temporary, so they bring some kind of tranquilizer, tranquilize, but not much effective. So some level or certain sort of mental level, sort of restlessness or disturbances must solve through use mind itself. From the Buddhist viewpoint, all destructive emotion based on ignorance. So the antidote of that ignorance is wisdom. So first try to study, then gradually get some experience. That is the best way to reduce destructive emotion and increase positive emotion. So therefore, now peace must come through inner peace. Certain now. Now, in order to develop inner peace, as I mentioned earlier, only way is training of mind. Now, all major world tradition carry message of love, message of forgiveness, tolerance. All major religious tradition, you see, teach us carrying this message. However, now today's world, out of 7 billion human beings, nearly or around 1 billion non-believer. So we have to find certain way of training or way of thinking, which can cover entire 7 billion human beings. Now, that's the secular ethics. This is not new in this country, India. Over 3,000 years, the secular ethics there. The secular idea, and with that, secular ethics there already. I think India's sort of concept of ahimsa very much related with secular ethics. Then religious harmony, very good in this country. Generally speaking, some pockets, some problem, that's understandable. But that also very much related with ahimsa. So when we sort of explain more detailed, deeper way, the ahimsa related with karuna. Where is karuna? Ahimsa come. So therefore, according to Indian tradition, we need a secular way to promote human value. Human value means physical action, verbal action, mental action, which brings happiness. That's a moral way. Any sort of physical action, or verbal action, mental action, which brings suffering, or uncomfortable, or fear, that's immoral. So demarcation, moral and immoral, not necessarily based on religious sort of belief. Just any action brings joyfulness. No harm other, that's good. That's positive. So any motivation which brings that kind of verbal action, physical action, that's the moral ethics. Without belief or heaven or hell or next life. So we are trying to promote that. So the ethics through secular way. Now that we already now committed, it lasts I think more than 10 years. Many scientists, many educationists, and many social workers. And now, end of this month, we're going to have one meeting where some NGO, some individual, some professors, who already sort of committed in this sort of work. So like that, and through education, secular ethics, not through prayer, not through blessing, but through education. Like I think Buddhist ethics, also through education, not just prayer, not just faith. That's the proper way. That's why the Nalindra masters wrote many books, which we usually call Tenjur, and Buddha's own sort of speech, about 100 volumes, Ganjur. So, according Sanskrit tradition, according I think Buddhism in general, in particular Sanskrit tradition, learning the reality, and including reality of mind, reality of emotion, through that way transform our emotion. So that also is the same principle, through awareness, through education, transform our emotion. So now, here this time I found from Dibruka University and Kasamui, Guwahati now, and of course here there's a lot of people now really showing interest, teaching or education about moral ethics in normal education or city, institution, like that. So now I spent, I think, 3 mornings. I talk much. So now this time I want to take questions. So now that's all. Now questions start.
Your Holiness, my name is Rani Singh. I'm the niece of the political officer Hamanda Singh, who welcomed you into India in 1959. He told me that all those weeks that you spent with him, he was born a Sikh, but you had such a profound effect on him that he now tells me that Buddhism is the path that he follows. We're sitting in a non-Buddhist arena, and I was born Sikh, but I made lots of mistakes, and I'm a very bad person. What is your advice to somebody like me? What do you have to teach me as a Buddhist?
그런 낭보치 기세. 좋아, 할머니 드세요. So firstly, study about, you see, Nalanda Master's writing about human mind, about human emotion. Firstly, we need fuller knowledge about, usually I call, map of emotion. Then, you see, causes and the conditions of these different emotions. Now, for example, the anger comes frustration. Frustration comes agitation. So, the anger fully developed. Sort of combat anger is difficult. So fully sort of because of the difficult. So the proper way, wise way, dealing with anger is the because of the initial stage, then easier to tackle. So you are not very young, but still I'm older than you, so the older person's advice is please pay more attention for study, read more books. Thank you. Next question.
Great reverence to His Holiness. His Holiness, I would just like to say a short introduction about myself. I come from a generation of Christian Catholic family, but since 3 to 4 years, I have been following your teachings very closely with great admiration. My question is, keeping in mind the present scenario of violence around us in the form of verbal abuse, emotional abuse, physical abuse, even mental abuse in the name of religion. Question that arises in my mind is, are every good soul reborn in their own religion? If no, then why should there be any kind of discrimination between individuals of different religion? Thank you.
I think each religion is in order to keep single-pointed faith. So each religion is an emphasis, one religion, one truth. Now, in reality, at least 6 billion human beings, among them, many religions there. So the reality, several truths, several religions. Sometimes the Jewish people, they have certain sort of concept. Jews are chosen people. Similarly, we Tibetans also believe we are chosen people by our Lokutishara. But that's, I think, our just mental creation. Mental creation. I think the reality, when we born in Christian family or Buddhist family, at that time, as a parent, may use sort of some religious sort of what's it, some sort of practice, or some rituals. But basically, you see, child free. No religious or what's the concept. So religious faith come later. Now, according Buddhism, Jainism, and some other sort of Hindu tradition who believe rebirth, then we also sort of have the concept, the previous life and this life. So some children from young age, sort of certain sort of the certain expression, you see, due to his or her previous life's influence. So in any way, I think basically, I think religion is individual matter. So therefore, individual should have free. I really admire and love the many years now, I think many years already passed, the Italian Communist Party's leader, Berlinguer. So Berlinguer, communist. But his wife, very much religious-minded. There's no quarrel. So I think each week, when his wife used to go to church, the Berlinguer, communist, non-believer, or even anti-religion, you see, he drive. That's good. It's a good example. So like that, I think even this husband and wife, one believe religion, one not believe. So that's individual business. So within religious sort of kasoda, within sort of religious people, it's a different concept, different philosophy. So in my sort of kasoda, among my friends, there are many Christians, many Muslims, many Jews, so on. There's one occasion, one of my very, very dear friend, one Catholic monk, who very, very staunch supporter about Tibet. Sometimes he a little bit critical about Vatican's sort of neutral position like that. So therefore, we often, you see, discuss about meditation or practice of tolerance, practice of love, these things, because these are common. One day he asked me about emptiness, or shunyata. Then I told him, don't ask this is not your business. Yeah, like that. So each person, according to his or her sort of mental disposition, to some people, this religion is more suitable. To some people, this religion suitable. Some people, without religion, is much happier. Like that. So, basically, I think we have no right, since you born in Buddhist family, since you born in Christian family, you should follow that. I think that's wrong. Completely, let them choose, like that. That's my view. So you come from Christian family, eventually you find Buddhist way of approach is more sort of but more yes rational. So I think, although I respect Christianity, any other religions, Islam or Judaism, all major religions, I respect. Over, I think, 1,000 years, they really served humanity. And present also, I think millions of people get immense inspiration from this religion. Sometimes create some problems. That I don't think is the mistake of the religion, but individual, we misuse. Right? Basically, I feel lack of moral principle. Therefore, religion also used for destructive emotion. Like that. So I respect all religion. However, now you can ask some scientist, a non-believer, I think they usually used to prefer Buddhist way of thinking. As I mentioned earlier, so they usually used to call rational. Yes, I think one got also the significant statement of Buddha. He mentioned, "Oh, my follower, bhikshus or scholars should not accept my teaching out of faith or devotion, but rather thorough investigation and experiment." This is quite unique. So some of the Buddha's followers, they reject some of Buddha's own teaching. The reason, if you accept Buddha's teaching, this literally, it goes against reason. So we must emphasize on importance of reason. So therefore, we should take liberty to reject those Buddhist teaching. I also now follow that. Now the concept of Mount Meru, these things, many Buddhist literature mention that. I publicly reject, because that sort of goes against our reasons, now scientific finding, like that. So therefore, sometimes I jokingly telling, the size of sun and the moon. The Abhidhammakosha Karika, wrote by Vasubandhu, or the younger brother of Arya Sangha, you see the more or less same size, little bigger, sun little bigger than moon. But basically, 박사 ngaju chikdan chess. 박사 ngaju ngaju da 박사 ngaju tambe kewa 박사 지금도 캠도 와.
So according to Abhidhammakosha Karika, Vasubandhu says that the difference between the size of the sun and the moon is only one yojana. The sun is one yojana bigger than the moon.
Oh. So this morning and also yesterday, when sunshine comes, one sun, some cloudy, little cloud, the sun looks almost same size of moon. So I think the Vasubandhu, sometimes I jokingly telling Vasubandhu, when he wrote that text, he naturally, his age quite old, so his eyesight also not very good. But however, try to look moon, sun. Oh, then he felt, almost same size. Now today, the scientific sort of also the new instrument precisely know how big sun and how much different the size, how much differences. But because of long distance, the Abhidhammakosha mentioned same level, go like that, and in the center Mount Meru. So our day and night, you see, because of in Mount Meru in the center, when the sun goes the other side, then the southern side goes dark night. So these almost I think because of the Gamshara.
So these are things to laugh at.
So we have the liberty to reject, no problem. Like that. So I think this shows Buddhist sort of thinking is very rational. This one. Like that. Okay. Then next question? Tristele ho. 그래서 나왔지. 쉐베 시티로서 쉐베 시티스로서. 알았어. 너희 가서 가셔야 돼서도 쉐베 시티 봐도 땡큐지. 디스랑 거야요 말다. 쉐베 시티 봐도 땡큐는 거야요. 아야.
그걸 좋은 이유. 아니 좋은 아버지 가능성은 빅뱅골이 빅뱅골. 아니 먼저 디포짓 채워라니 유승 상황을 수요와 선발적으로 다루지. 아니 계시 보여주지 아니 자동차를 갖다라니
변해지 가서 무소야서 변점을 연구를 받다.
보여주지 시간이 그래서 시리아제, 아프가니스탄제, 데리가라니 기원이제 아니 중동에 오라니 그 자동차를 갖고 아니 작주랑 통대로와 아니 오데리가가 자동차제 아니 제목도 친구차제 아니 작주 일람수로 와이나 아니 거기에 아니 이 빅베기 아니 유 선발적으로 다루기 아니 주당이 아주 중요해서
직교다. 직교 거면.
저니어 아니 레균리고를 완전 넘바신데 차례니 레균리 케인이어와 아니 완전 간다 묘는 발라 가르치고 있으면은 이 레균리 내가 가르치고 있네 레가 육사제 내가 야를 중앙에 레레 누가 중앙에 레레시 아니 그래서 아니 먼저 다들 보지 않나 먼저 쉬고 있나 아니 그 레가 치료와 이 구신들이 있으면 어디 좀 디버티니 먼저를 중앙에 가는 우리 아니 레디엔 가리스 두면스 레디인데
그래서 센 쉬워. 정신 쉬워.
레디인데
들어봐. 세상 그 아주 다 센 쉬워이나. 자와 미 시약된디 다 미다 가서 쇠에 차월 때는 시. 그봐 시야도 그래 내체. 그봐. 다디 미신다 지기 쇠에 차와 지잖아. 다디 그 시야도 그래 내려와다. 내 매버지 시야도 가고로 와. 저 다데 근저스로 거스럽나? 다데 저디 당연히 지구다.
Can you translate that in English yourself? And so
translate
there are two parts.
briefly.
Yes. The first is about when we talk about creating karma or accumulating karma, as we usually say, and on the basis of our motivation and then the action itself, and the preparation and action itself, and then finally, when, for example, in the case of killing, you have the motivation to kill somebody, and then you actually go to act. You engage the action of killing, and then finally the person or the animal dies. And so these factors, motivation, the action, and the final death should happen in order for us to create this karma of killing. And so his question relating to this is that when someone, a child, for example, is born in Syria or Afghanistan and so forth, where people are indulging in lots of terrorism and killing others and so forth, and so how does that relate to these kids and people who were brought up in these countries? How do they create such karmas? Because they may not have the motivation and so forth, as we explained. And then the second part of the question is about when one, for example, steps on an ant or some insect, what kind of karma was created by that, by what kind of karma does that ant or the insect die?
The Tangodi, I think first part, as you know, many Indian, non-theistic religion, we have the concept of rebirth, no beginning, beginningless of life, go like that. That also, you see, they finally, subtle consciousness, which I already sort of mentioned, the subtle consciousness is still consciousness, momentarily changing. So that shows there must be causes. In the cause, substantial cause and cooperative factors. The substantial cause must be same nature. So that's the reason, you see, if you accept beginning of subtle mind, then that subtle mind, you say, its substantial cause must be some physical or something, or without cause. That's illogical. So therefore, consciousness, no beginning. Go like that. So then rebirth theory come. And furthermore, there are people, you see, who shows certain sort of, even in child, at a young age, some sort of different, mental attitude there. So these, I think, previous lives, some sort of imprints like that. So now, children, as you mentioned, like Afghanistan or Syria, these, firstly, you see, due to their karma, they born. That also due to their karma, previous karma. And then, I think, at the very young age, I think the children in Afghanistan or Syria, India, Tibet, I think not much differences. But then, actual sort of surrounding, then you see makes some differences. So that also, of course, you see some connection with karmic link. Now, karma or action. Karma means action. So action, there are physical level action, mental level action, verbal level action, and there are also, you see, the grosser, more subtler. So the very subtle sort of the level, the karmic law of causality, till 가서다 시제집을 빵 들리지 마시고는 패질 렌더 차시 차서 가고였다.
Unless one reaches the state where one has overcome all the defilements within one's mind, and particularly what is known as the cognitive obscuration, or some kind of defilement which hinders you from knowing everything as it is. And unless you reach such a state, I mean, it's very difficult to tell what kind of karma has caused certain things to have happen very precisely.
But grosser level, of course, you see, if you harm someone, you see, it brings some suffering, pain. So any action, verbal action, physical action, creates some uncomfortable other. That's negative karma. Any action brings some joyful, or at least some peace. That is Dewa, positive karma. So that, I think, obviously, we can see a certain action brings more uncomfortable, certain action brings more because of the comfortable. So there's a demarcation, the more subtle level, more complicated. So ultimately, any verbal action, physical action, entirely depend on motivation. Motivation is sincere, compassionate motivation. And a certain physical action, verbal action, even if it creates some uncomfortable other, but your motivation is sincere, then okay, no problem. So
when you are motivated by some positive attitude, even if you may do some harm to others, that doesn't really turn out to creating negative karma.
So, most important is motivation. Mental level, karma or mental level is something most important. That through awareness, through training. And so like that. Now next question. The rang chua de yao sha do tu chi a. Tu chi.
Good afternoon, His Holiness. My name is Rohit Kumar. So my question is regarding the state of secular ethics in today's time, where the world is possibly edging towards a clash of religions.
No, I don't think. I think generally, if you know each other, different religion, and meeting with genuine practitioner, then you develop understanding about the value or teaching of other tradition. Then naturally, you see, you develop some sort of admiration or respect. Now the problem is, you see, the people not seriously, not sincerely follow their own religion. So religion carries just a name. So then the all negative emotion still remain very raw. Now, since that person not seriously follow their own religion, including Islam, genuine Islam practitioner must extend our love towards entire the creation of Allah. And the real meaning of jihad is combat your own internal emotion, positive emotion, destructive emotion. That's the real meaning of jihad. Not sort of killing or harming other. So, any religion, see, the main practice is practice of love, forgiveness, tolerance, these things. And no religious sort of tradition say their sort of the God is full of anger. Nobody said that. Their God is full of love, full of compassion, infinite love. Whether Christianity or Islam or Judaism and so on. Nowadays, although you see some conflict in the name of religion, I think 1,000 years that's there. In this country also sometimes that's a problem. And even Tibet also, within Buddhists also, sometimes you see fighting with different color of head. So red-head sect, yellow-head sect, black hat said. So these just use the name of religion, not seriously practice, not seriously follow. So that's, I think, weakness of human being. And then on top of that, the political power or economy interest. That also, you see, there's a main sort of, I think, cause, main factor. And then use religion. And then religious people also, you see, not not sort of intelligence or intelligent, just a faith. And then some people, some individual can manipulate easily. So religious people should know the whole system and the main sort of teaching and implement seriously. Then I think this conflict in the name of religion can reduce. Then the first step, now here, for example, Muslim, Indian Muslim, obviously Shia and Sunni, no conflict. And Muslim, Hindu, and Christian, I think millions of Christian, millions of Hindus, millions of Muslim live together. So I think this country is Muslim because from their birth, the young child, they already know there are different religions there. And then, as far as I know, Malaysian Muslim also is more open-minded because there are a large number of Chinese businessmen, women, these, most of them Buddhist. And then also large number of Indians, these are Hindu. So therefore, the Malaysian Muslim, they already know there are different religions. Then Indonesia also. Firstly, I think Indonesia's case, firstly, in ancient time, Buddhism much sort of flourished in some of the island of Indonesia. So some Buddhist temple like Kasachauti, Borobudur there. So you see, that makes differences. Then the Arab Muslim know that kind of conduct, isolated. On top of that, I think some politicians, some leaders, I think manipulate. And also, I think, some extent, I think Western attitude. The Muslim world, listen, they have some kind of fear. The Western technology, Western civilization may sort of harm their sort of faith. And in fact, I think some, books, right? Some books, you see, they mentioned there is some kind of clash, Western civilization and the Muslim world. Such sort of thinking, I think, very dangerous. You see, Muslim also, you see, the Western civilization means democracy, rule of law, and more material development, modernization. Eventually, Arab world also need that. So Saudi Arabia, I think, some kind of kingdom. Now, gradually some changing. In the past, Saudi Arabian female, I think much sort of low position. Now these are gradually changing. So therefore, I think democracy is future of the world. Rule of law, democracy means kings or religious leaders, now some kind of ruling by religious leaders or kings. That I think outdated. So therefore, So therefore, I think no genuine clash, Muslim and Western civilization. Because of Muslim country, some of these Muslim country, their social system, little bit because of the old thinking. So therefore, Muslims themselves now changing. Education is key factor. I think Western nation must provide facility for education, health, instead of helping weapons, not that way, helping education. I have opportunity visit Jordan a few occasions. In Jordan, Amman, you see, some occasion I met some student. So because of they already have modern education. So when I met them, they are sort of constantly dressed like a Muslim, and particularly those girls, like that. So when I met some Muslim lady, I also see jokingly do this. But then when we discuss the sort of because of the similar, very similar to an ordinary sort of modern school for the children, no problem. So that therefore education makes differences. In Iraq, Syria, I think in this area, I think modern education not fully developed. And in different nations, Western nations also exploit their oil. It's not genuine sort of helping education field is like that. So that's my view. So few Muslim individuals, you see, carry some violent action. You should not describe them as a Muslim terrorist. These are terrorists, not Muslim. Muslim, as soon as one person who belongs to Muslim community creates bloodshed, and then that person no longer genuine Muslim. That's Muslim friends say that. So, for example, in Burma, you see, and a few years, I think a few years ago, when the Burmese Buddhists harming Burmese Muslim, so then Time magazine, they cover one Buddhist monk, Burmese Buddhist monk, and describe Buddhist terrorist. So, if people used to consider Buddhism also some connection with terrorist, then suppose I am one of the leading person of Buddhism, so I should be terrorist. And these monks, these Buddhists should consider terrorist. So there are cases, some person who belongs to Buddhist community, but acting terrorist. That's separate. Person who belongs to Buddhist community, acting terrorist, no longer genuine Buddhist. Similarly, any person who belongs to Muslim community, acting terrorist, no longer genuine Islam, Muslim. Okay. I often now telling that in America or in Europe. So when the reports say Muslim Buddhist terrorist, I also feel a little uncomfortable. So then millions of, I think around billion Muslim, in their eyes, because here, Muslim terrorist, I think they feel uncomfortable. One thing, I think recent event, quite clear, that after the September 11th tragic situation, tragedy in New York and Washington. Then American response, eventually, you see the war with Iraq. I think these are really mistake. Actually, the 12th September that year, just next day, I wrote a letter to President Bush because I know him very well. I respect him. So I wrote a letter while I express my condolence. Then I express, I hope this problem must, could be dealt with non-violent way. So if that happened, I think today's this kind of Muslim world, a lot of negative feeling towards the West, I don't think happen. So therefore, you see, all these Buddhist concept, patitya samupanda, everything interconnected, interdependent. So some person, because of the mistake, that effect, that vibration, you see, reach there. And from there, another vibration come. And then eventually, some good thing or bad things will happen. So we can't blame independently or absolutely. Okay. Next question.
It's my privilege to have this opportunity to ask question to you. And my name is Gati Jami. I'm working there in District Hospital Tawang as a doctor. So I have seen people from different walks of life, both rich and poor. So my question is, in this world, we see lots of people are dying in the name of religion. Many are fighting. And they say that they are fighting for their own gods, but nobody has seen their own gods till now, from their own eyes. And on the process, they have forgotten humanity. So I feel if it's proven that there is a God or there is non-existence of such God, then this problem can be solved. If you show them that there is a single God, every religion believes that they have single gods, like Islam have Allah and Christians have Jesus. But if we prove that there is nothing like different gods, different names, only a single God, then and in their own eyes, or if you prove that there is no such God, no such things like God, it's their only belief, then such killings and hatred can be averted, sir. So is there any such solution, sir? When there is no such solution, sir, when this hatred and killing will stop in this world, when there will be peace in this earth, when people will stop killing each other in the name of religion, when sense of humanity will prevail in this earth?
I think more or less same questions. So not only that, I think Jainism, no concept of God, and Buddhism, no concept of God, no creator, self-creation. Buddha clearly stated. And then, Parmanavatika, Samanamre, Parmanavatika, Karika, clearly mentioned. You see, Takparang Jungi Yongshing Maris.
So according to Master Tamakirti, his permanent Vartika, he says there cannot be, it's not possible for some agent called God, which is permanent, unchanging, and self-evolved.
And each monastery, Sivokolo, Tuga.
So when we visit Buddhist monasteries, in front of the monasteries, you usually find this painting of the wheel of life.
Oh. So the ultimate source of suffering, of birth, is ignorance. No creator. So long ourselves, you see, much sort of ignorant there, because of ignorance there, then that causing because of suffering. So in order to escape from suffering, we must deal with this ultimate ignorance. So it clearly shows there is no creator. So self-creation is the Buddhist concept. But we have to be realistic. Out of 7 billion, 1 billion non-believer, then 6 billion believer, among them about 1 billion Muslim, 1 billion Christian, then less 1 billion Hindus. Then I think about 9, either now, because of a lot of Chinese now become Buddhist. So today, 400 million Buddhist population there. So now Buddhist number also now increasing, perhaps nearly 1 billion. So Muslim, there are billion. This is reality. Whether their concept right or wrong, we must respect them. They are important part of humanity. So therefore, now secular ethics cover all religion, because all religion talks about loves, compassion, forgiveness, tolerance, self-discipline, like that. So that's my way of approach. So I think, firstly, I think we should reach out. I am suggesting some Indian Muslims. I think Indian Muslim, should take more serious sort of responsibility, serious concern about the problems in Muslim world. And you see, these Muslim so-called terrorists, these also human beings. When they born, not terrorists. When they are 10-year-old, I think 11, 13 years, and are not terrorists. Different circumstances eventually, you see, create that. So we must reach out these people. Some occasion, I think in America, some Muslim group, we met. And I told, you American Muslim, they should take more serious responsibility, so to reach out. Those Muslims in Muslim countries were more isolated. So like that. So therefore, that's my view. So anyone who wants to destroy whole Muslim, impossible. Or whole Christian, impossible. Whole Buddhist, impossible. So we have to live together. Like, I think, like sort of little sort of difficult husband and wife, sometimes fighting, but have to live together. That's it.
Your Holiness, it's such a privilege to be able to ask this question. When we see it from the perspective of ethics, how do you view it when monks engage in polity and political work? Does it not conflict with religious practice?
Yes, that's, I have the view since many years in Ladakh and also men. If politics, something clean politics, just serving people, then okay. sometimes politics become a little bit dirty politics. The people who involve politics, their moral standard are not that sort of adequate. So then politics become dirty politics. Similarly, religion also. People who carry religious sort of activities, their mind not very pure. Then religion also become dirty religion. So politics, as far as a little bit sort of dirty, then we Buddhist monk must remain distance ourselves. So that's my view. And since I think a few years, I am suggesting the monk, we are carrying the Buddha's message. So one individual monk indulge politics, then the whole name, something damaging, like that. Okay. So usually I describe Lama politics, including myself. So therefore, since 2011, I totally retired from political responsibility. And not only myself retired, but also 4th century old tradition, Dalai Lama institution, eventually automatically become head of both temple and religion. Now that voluntarily, happily, proudly now cease. So sometimes I jokingly expressing that this sort of tradition, dual responsibility, now that started from 5th Dalai Lama. So now 14th Dalai Lama voluntarily ceased that. So if 5th Dalai Lama return or come, what he will say, but there is no danger, he never will return.
Your Holiness, thank you so much for being here with us. I'm Ranju Dodo, I'm a journalist. Asking questions is part of my profession. I hope I can make this a good one. I wanted to just ask, not just specifically to Buddhism, but to all religions, have rituals become more important for followers these days than the actual pursuit of the knowledge of religion? As opposed to, I mean, if rituals are not as important as knowledge, then should we stop doing the rituals altogether? Why spin the prayer wheel? Why do Kora of the Kompa? Instead, should we not pursue the wisdom and philosophy of the religions instead?
As far as Buddhism in general, particularly the Sanskrit tradition, ritual are not important. As I publicly mentioned here also, on many occasions, the tantric practice, there are some rituals there. We just jump in the practice of Tantrayana. That's wrong. Tantrayana, something like Kasota, Thosa Kant Valley theory.
It's like somewhere on the upper stories of the house or building.
So we have to climb step by step. So without a proper foundation, then these practice just a ritual, not much meaning, not much effect. My own daily practice, of course, this visualization of different mandala and these, but I found real effect come from analytical meditation about shunyata, about bodhicitta. That really transformed my emotion, not deity yoga. So, basically, as far as Buddhists who follow a Nalanda tradition, ritual not important. We must sort of use our intelligence maximum way through that way, transform our emotion. That's the proper way, not ritual. And the individual who already have some experience, then on top of that, some ritual, then okay. But the other tradition, I have no right to interfere with. As far as Buddhism in general, particularly Nalanda tradition, a ritual not important.
Your Holiness, my name is Samretine. I'm a doctor. Our work is considered as one of the noble jobs. We treat many patients with infections through antibiotics just to bring relief or to liberate suffering from one human life, wherein we kill millions of unseen microorganisms. And we Buddhists believe that every sentient being has an equal life, irrespective of size or color. So, Your Holiness, please enlighten me whether it is a sin or not. If it's a sin, how far is the sin? How big is the sin? And does it going to bring some changes in my...
I think virus, these, of course, a living thing, but whether there is consciousness or not, still we don't know. Like blood, there is life, but no consciousness. So killing means not only life, but feeding consciousness. That we consider sentient being. So I don't know these certain kasoda. But lulu simbu gedichidon samde shegarda gedichidonis. Doesn't songsara in a manner.
So in our text also there is mention of some kind of symbol or microbiome, we call it, the 84,000 of them in our body. So I'm not sure whether they could be considered as sentient beings or not.
It's a certain, in the stomach, certain sort of worms. Sometimes you see taking certain medicine and then come out. So I think truly sentient being. So these, now we have to judge in order to restrain harming these and sacrifice that person's life. Again, we have to judge the person's what kind of life. Good person is a meaningful life, so also useful to the society. Then his life, something worthwhile to survive. For that reason, some sacrifice, some worms, I think worthwhile. If the person a troublemaker, then better to die.
So my name is Sophia Lago. My utmost respect and honor to you, His Holiness. My question is, in Tibetan Buddhist calendar, some days are marked as auspicious and inauspicious. So I want to ask that, are there really such days as auspicious and inauspicious? And should one really follow this in today's modern world?
Those people who believe astrology, every some kind of important sort of, including marriage or these things, you see, must be a good day or something. See, many authentic Tibetan sort of practitioner, they openly stated, and so around like another just drama, 세장 예바다 지 karma nyeba tindegi thane chunga chumde de sung ya mares ti sung yori.
So many authentic Buddhist practitioners in Tibet have said that something that whether it's bad or good things happen to you is because of your own karma, bad or good karma, and it has nothing to do with some kind of astrological zodiac signs or stars.
My own tutor, the great, not only just Lama, but great scholar, great practitioner. Or one day, I think in many sort of cases, when I have some sort of doubt or certain things, some dilemma, I ask him. Then he gives some suggestions. At the beginning, sometimes I doubt, but eventually his suggestion becomes very, very correct. Then one occasion, I asked him, "Oh, according to my experience, you have some sort of maungwa, ngashinti."
Some sort of precognition, seeing the future.
Oh, I asked him. Then he, very good monk, never tell lie. But then when I asked that, he mentioned, "Oh, occasionally some feeling about future comes." So he admit. So great Lama. Now he often used to telling me, the linguisti,
So in my own senior tutor, this late Ding Rinpoche, used to tell me that he was born on a day which is considered inauspicious, Nyemba Kuzam, which means a day which is filled with 9 inauspicious omens.
Oh, Kasa, Nyemba Kuzu Nimuti, Gaya Kametro, Kachi Yorba, Chisha Jore. Nyemba Kuzu, but Tukja Shibsi Shego.
So Tibetans consider this day a very bad day, even to the extent of saying that you should not even read the scriptures.
But for me, when I study, Nyemba Kuzu is very good. That day, holiday. So like that, you see, as a Buddhist, we never consider these kasota. As
genuine Buddhist practitioners, we do not pay much attention to these auspicious signs of days or zodiac signs.
But some sort of text teaching, some sort of tantric sort of initiation, it mentions something. But that is entirely according, you see, the ordinary people's way of thinking or mentality like that. So as far as astrology is concerned, I have no belief. Therefore, one occasion in our Minjikan,
Medical and Astrological Institute in Dharamsala.
One occasion they invited me. I expressed my own view. Tibetan medicine is considered really, I appreciate. Really help my sort of body. Wonderful. But as far as astrology is concerned, I have no belief. So then the student of that astrology, much discouraged. So later, another occasion, I have to sort of mention, me personally, not believe this astrology, but as a part of Tibetan sort of tradition, you must study. Like that. Then, I think, final two questions.
His Holiness, I'm Kenzi Gezen, doctor by profession. His Holiness, you always refer everyone as friend or doctor, and we refer you as a teacher or lama, who shows the path towards the Dhamma. So may I know what is the true or actual relationship between you and us?
Korsa, I think human contact. You are a human being, I'm a human being. We have this human language. And you also have emotion. I also have emotion. So some of my experience can help you. So my experience cannot sort of share other animal because they are not a human being. no, not this human intelligence. So I always say, 7 billion human beings, mentally, emotionally, physically, same. Like that.
Your Holiness, my deepest salutations to you. I am Sonam Norzin, and my question is on consciousness. When in Buddhism philosophy, when is the beginning of consciousness in human life? Whether it is there before conception or after conception? Thank you.
I already mentioned no beginning. If you accept a beginning, then either humility or karangore, yana ka.
You're asking whether consciousness starts at the time of conception or not, as a human being.
Like before conception or after conception?
Oh.
I think I mentioned my public teaching. Some occasion in America, I asked some doctors, you see the conception, the mother's womb, no defect, perfect, and the father's semen and the mother's egg, you see, also no defect, and then semen, that something like a worm, you see that, enter egg, then that 100% show take life or not. They say no. So then this is bring question, what's third factor? Physical level, semen and egg join, but still not life take place. So that brings our sort of concept, the another sentient being who have karmic link of that two couple, and then enter that kasa jyoti. So then, you know, and according, I think, Jainism, and mainly I think Jainism and Buddhism, since no creator, so therefore, you see, no beginning of life. And also I think Sankhya philosophy, as far as Purusha, Purusha is concerned, I think no beginning, no end. When we reach moksha, according to the Sankhya philosophy, the Atma, Purusha, still there, no end. So many ancient Indian sort of philosophical views, you see, have the same view of life after life. And Buddhism, including Buddhism, like that. Okay. So, thank you. Thank you. I really appreciate have the opportunity to take some questions. Whether my answer satisfies you or not, I don't know. But I have this sort of, because of privilege, some explanation. Thank you.
His Holiness, the 14th Dalai Lama.
Of compassion, Lord of Shara, to millions of people like me, Honorable Chief Minister Sri Pema Khanduji, Reverend Abbot of Tawang Monastery, all other Reverend Rinpoches, Honorable Parliamentary Secretary Sri Jambe Tashiji, Honorable MLA Sri Sring Tashiji, Honorable Chairman Doka Sri Jambe Tashiji, and all other dignitaries, media persons, students, and ladies and gentlemen present here. It is indeed a great privilege for me to get this lifetime opportunity to propose the vote of thanks on this very special and auspicious occasion, although His Holiness do not believe in auspicious days. At the outset, I, on behalf of the district administration and all those present here, extend our heartiest gratitude to His Holiness, the 14th Dalai Lama, for bestowing his kindness and compassion on us, and by delivering his inspiring talk on secular ethics and happiness, and also answering all the questions. We really thank Your Holiness for showing us the path to achieve happiness, irrespective of our religious affinities. His Holiness, the Dalai Lama's secular ethic transcend material, religion, cultural boundaries, and define values such as compassion, training of mind in pursuit of happiness. I believe it is because of His Holiness' unlimited love and compassion for the people of Man region that His Holiness has taken the strenuous journey by road to this far-flung place to bless us. His Holiness always has often been quoting a verse which I may be permitted to quote here. As long as space endures, as long as sentient beings remain, until then may I too remain and dispel the miseries of the world. I firmly believe that Your Holiness will continue to remain in this world to dispel the miseries of this world as long as sentient beings remain. After listening to His Holiness, I'm sure each one of us will endeavor to become better human beings in the interest of our own happiness and interest of the happiness of all others. 58 years ago, Your Holiness had taken this route in very difficult circumstances. We hope that Your Holiness will return by this same route very soon in happier circumstances and will establish Your Holiness' homeland as the epicenter of universal peace, compassion, brotherhood, and kindness. I take this opportunity to thank our Honorable Chief Minister Sri Pema Khanduji, who has given all the support and guidance in making this program of Holiness, the 14th Dalai Lama in Tawang, a grand success. I also thank Sri Jambe Tashiji, Honorable Parliamentary Secretary, Sri Jambe Wangdiji, Chairman Toka, for all their support and guidance. My special thanks goes to Sri Sring Tashiji, Honorable MLA, who has been fully involved and has been guiding us in all the preparations for all the programs of His Holiness in Tawang. I also express my heartiest gratitude to Kungai Tempesring La, Sri Tenzin Takla La, and Sri Karmarinjan La, and their entire team for guiding and helping us in making all the programs of His Holiness, the 14th Dalai Lama, a successful one. I also express my heartiest gratitude to all the officials, particularly the Tawang Manpa Employees Society, Superintendent of Police and his team, Padmashri Lama Tupten Punchok, public leaders, volunteers, whose names cannot be taken due to time constraint, who have contributed immensely in making the visit of His Holiness a grand success. Of course, I would be failing in my duty if I do not express my heartiest gratitude to the abbot and monks of Tawang Monastery for making all the preparations so as to make His Holiness program a successful one. At last, I thank one and all. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Your voice, very good voice.
Lâm